Good morning once again, phenomenal people. My name is Gary Thompson. I'm a business development consultant by profession. I'm a humanitarian by nature, and I'm the author of several books. Billionaire Codes is one of my masterpieces. Now, today I will talk to you a little bit about some of the information in this book. Why? Because at the beginning of the year, if most of you can remember, I made a commitment to give my time, my talent, and my resources to add value to your life. I want to say this to you. There's no average person in the world. You all are phenomenal people. But the reality is that most of you are socialized to content of information that ends up having you feel as though you are failure. So today I want to ask a bold question. And that question is, why do people fail? And what we're going to attempt to do throughout this podcast is to answer some of those reasons why people fail. But in listening to this podcast, I really want you to harbor or nurture what I call a solution driven mindset. I said it, a solution driven mindset. Listen to this. Success is a process. Success is a formula. Success is all about your rituals. I mean it. We as human beings, we are nothing but our habits. You either have good habits or you have bad habits. The third one is you can also have aligned habits. In my previous broadcast, I talk about align growth, align development. And your alignment has everything to do with your DSS, your deeper sense of self. I also spoke about that. When we crack that DSS, you find your purpose, you find your passion, and you find your gift. But we're not going to go into that today. Today, I'm asking a serious question, and that question is, why do people fail? Part two. In examining why do people fail, I want to give you some of the systems. And the systems that I'm going to give you today, and it is written in this book, you learn a lot about what we call the proactive leader. So today, in answering that question, we will look at what we call the traits and characteristics of the proactive leader. Today, I want to examine three of the traits and characteristics of the proactive leader. One, the proactive leader thinks ahead. Two, the proactive leader sees beyond the problem. And three, the proactive leader takes action to influence desired results. And this is one of the reasons why you have a major gap between the haves and the wannabe, between the successful and the wannabe successful. Today, with the information that you're about to get, I want to pray that you not only listen to this information, but you do the last one, which is you take action to influence desired results in every area of your life. All right. So let us do something now. Now you understand the traits and the characteristics of the proactive leader. It is now important for you to position yourself to become like that proactive leader. Why do people fail? One of the reasons that people fail is that people react. Most people never reach that point of proacting. And I'm going to get deep into this discussion today. What exactly do I mean when I talk about thinking ahead, character one? So let's look at the art and process of thinking ahead. Let me give you an example. A building contractor has what is known as his building plan drawing, his plan. And what it helps him to do, it helps him to get a clear understanding the size of the building, the dimension of the building, the features of the building. He knows where every column, beam, and post are going to be, window, doors, and steps are going to be. He has a clear mental picture because why? He has his builder's plan drawing. He thinks ahead before he starts to build. Let's look at the entrepreneur. Every successful businessman or businesswoman, they have what is known as their 1 year to 5 year strategic plan. It may be longer. Now, what is the 1 to 5 year strategic plan? It is a plan that clearly states the vision, the mission, the aims and objective of that business. What I'm saying here is that they can see ahead of where they want their businesses to go. They position themselves to think ahead because it's a natural thing to do. The most successful people in the world have a clear plan of achieving established goals and objectives. That look at now governments. All successful governments, they have what is known as a national development strategy document. You see the trend so far, the common trend. Each of the three I've just spoke about, they have a system of thinking ahead. Now let's look at this one. Let's look at the persons out there. What is your plan? Do you have a system that empowers and enables you to think ahead of your life? You're supposed to be positioning yourself to have what is known as a personal growth plan. Most of you will say to yourself, I don't make plans for the simple reason that your plan never becomes real. You develop your plan and your plan doesn't become real. Your plan is not becoming real because you do not understand the system of planning. Your plan does not become real because you do not understand the application behind the planning process. I'm here to give you those information to help you to transition yourself to become the best brand of yourself. Let me say this to you, and let me blow your mind here a little bit. Are you aware that you are the greatest asset the world has ever known? Are you also aware that you are the greatest asset the world will ever know? You're called human being. You have the power to think, and the reality is that nothing happens unless some human being thinks about it. Nothing happens outside of what God would have created unless man thinks about it and decide to take action to make things happen. Don't be intimidated by the artificial intelligence. It took a man to make artificial intelligence. The primary source of the artificial intelligence is man. Man is the author of those things. Now, it is very important that you think deep into what I'm saying. If the building contractor has his builder's plan drawing, if the entrepreneur has his 5 year strategic plan, if successful governments have their national development strategy documents, why are you making yourself become so different by not committing time and your resources and your talent to develop your personal life growth plan? This is one of the reasons why you're not being successful. This is one of the reasons why you're not failing. Because you do not have a clear sense of understanding as to where your life is today, where you want to take your life tomorrow, and the appropriate system that you should adopt to take your life to the next stage of development. And here's where you sit and you say that you don't have luck. Here's where you sit and you say that you're unfortunate. Here's where you sit and you self-sabotage. I want to encourage you guys to follow my systems, the Billionaire Codes System is a system. Before this program ends today, I will carry you deeper into some of the systems that we are using to personally and professionally accelerate your growth. And I say personal and professional because global branding and marketing specializes in human resource development. Human resource development is ground zero for global branding and marketing for the simple reason that we have come to the realization that nothing happens in and around your organization unless you have the right human capital. And by the right human capital, this is very deep. You may have the human capital, but is the human capital aligned to itself? Is the human capital aligned to its purpose, its passion, its gifts? Is the human capital aligned to help your organization to achieve its strategic plan? What we specialize in doing is training the human capital to become aligned to itself, and two, become aligned to the corporate vision. The reality is that we have learned, and our system, and you will find some of those systems in this book, clearly states that people function better in every area of their lives when they understand their purpose, their passion, and their gifts. And when we could create that environment that would allow people to function in complete alignment with their DSS, you now don't have to think about systems to motivate them because they will be now become self-motivated. Do you understand people when they function at the level of passion, what happens? We have 1% of the people in the world who function at the passion. And those are the people who have achieved exceptional success in the world. Our system is designed to help you align your human resources to function better in your organization. So we're looking now at the first thing, the three things we promised to look at today: the traits and characteristics of the proactive leader. And in those traits, you will find the proactive leader thinks ahead, he sees beyond the problem, he takes action to make great things happen. Now let's look at the second one. He sees beyond the problem. So let's look at the art and process of seeing beyond the problems. You see, most of you react, you do not proact. And because you are reacting, you're not positioning yourself in that position of strength to develop what is known as a solution-driven mindset. Part of the system of seeing beyond the problems, it's important that you nurture within yourself, within your environment, what is known as a solution-driven mindset. Most people see the problems, and there will always be problems. But what people are not socialized to do is to identify the solutions, and the last one is to take action based on that solution. And the reason that most people are not taking action might be because, one, they do not have all of the information. In this program, the Billionaire Codes, we will learn you so many different systems that will help you to develop the sense of self, the sense of competency, and the ability to effectively apply yourself to bring down barriers. In our world, we don't see the problem. Problems will always there, but we take delight and pleasure in committing our natural resources to address those problems. It's important that you invest in your personal and professional growth daily. You see, some of the brightest, smartest people in the world are those that understand their passion and they commit time daily in investing, in nurturing their DSS to that point where they can project themselves as a unique brand. Are you invested in yourself? Are you committing time daily to apply your rituals to ensure that you're invested in you to become the best brand of who you are? These are things that are so important that, and the thing that is so strange is that we invest more time to understand things than we invest time to understand self. What a dichotomy is that? You understand more about your cell phone than you understand about yourself. Listen to this. Most of you, from the time you wake up in the morning, the first thing you gravitate to is your cell phone. I wish that you could gravitate that time to yourself and commit time to nurture yourself, to honor yourself, to invest in your personal growth and professional development. It is time that you start doing that. And the Billionaire Codes way is to help you to understand these systems that will detach you from the systems that are distracting you from becoming the best brand of who you are, and will put you in a position of strength where you can become that butterfly, like that caterpillar who have gone through, is moving through his metamorphosis to become the butterfly. Most people, for their entire life cycle, remain at the stage of the caterpillar. They never reach that point where the caterpillar emerges as the butterfly. The Billionaire Code is all about giving you the systems, the techniques, the formula, the coaching, the mentorship to ensure that we can give you enough content, the right content of information that will nurture you, mature you through your stage of being a caterpillar to that point where you can become a beautiful butterfly who can embrace the abundance of life. Something else that I want to say to you is that it's important that you invest in nurturing a healthy relationship with yourself. I really want to emphasize this point because the fact that I've seen that so many people in the world today, instead of having a positive sense of self, you have a negative sense of self. Instead of having self-confidence, you have self-doubts, you know? And I believe that that is one of the reasons why people fail. There's not a saying one reason why people fail. There's a number of reasons why people fail. The most popular statement is that people fail because of fear. But I have my own issues on that statement. While fear is something that truly holds people back, there are many other factors that prevent people from becoming successful. Fear is not something for us to be afraid of. We have to learn how to manage fear. And I'll get into that in another broadcast. But it's important that we start to invest in building the healthiest relationship with ourselves. Most of us, we have a casual relationship with ourselves for the simple reason that we not invest in time, talent, and resources to truly connect with our deeper sense of self. Today, I want you to break that back on that. Today's the day that I want you to make a commitment to start to honor you, to fall in love with you again and again and again, and seriously commit to yourself, where you can become the best brand of yourself, where you can become a high performer, a sustained high performer, where you can position yourself to add value in this world. We talked about it in the last broadcast. If you're not positioning yourself to add value in this world, the world will not deposit the abundance of life into your life. Listen to me again. If you're not investing in yourself to become the best brand of yourself, the universe will not deposit the abundance of life into your life. I'll go deeper into that another time. I want you now, and let's talk a little bit now about the art and process of self-application, the art and process of taking action to influence desired results. There's something that we call leveraging your passion, leveraging your passion. And in my book, I talk about that all the time. Why? Because we're seeing people who are taking action, we're seeing people who are taking leverage, but most of those people are not experiencing what is known as self-fulfill. They're not experiencing self-fulfillment for the simple reason that they're taking action, they're leveraging themselves in areas that they have no alignment to. Most people are working, most people are in the organization, not because of passion, but because of pay. In my world, I want to break those barriers down. And when we place an individual into an organization, it must be based on a number of perspectives. One, there's something that we call academic alignment. And what academic alignment means is that we don't impose an academic content on the human capital. What we do, we expose an academic content to the individual and help the individual to identify with an area that they're most attracted to. And we work with that individual to ensure that they're perfectly aligned to the environment that they're showing some degree of interest in. And from that point, we invest in nurturing them to become the best brand of self. In the real world, we impose an academic content on the human capital, whether they like it or not. You see, in my world, I do not believe that we have average people. We have exceptional people. But here's what's happening. We are training gifted engineers to become master accountant. Can never happen. Here we are training master accountants to become gifted scientists. Will never happen. This is one of the reasons why only 1% of the people in the world excel at what is known as their passion. The Billionaire Codes System has diagnosed these systems and these realities. And we have built our system in such a way that from the get-go, it helps the individual to connect with what is known as their DSS. And by connecting with their DSS, the reality is that people function better in every area of their lives when they're truly connected with their DSS and they're placed into an environment where that alignment is given an opportunity to flourish. So there's something that we call leveraging your passion, leveraging your gifts. And this is the last trait that we're going to be looking at today as relates to the proactive leader, because the proactive leader takes action to influence desired results. Now you have the plan. Now you see beyond the problems of that plan, because in project management, there's something that we call risks that you can see and risks that you cannot see. And what I want to say to you, you're going to develop your plan, but there has never been a perfect plan. Listen to me again. There has never been a perfect plan. So if you fail one time, it's not enough for you to give up. If you fail 10 times, it's not enough for you to give up. If you fail 100 times, it's not enough for you to give up. There has never been a perfect plan. And there most likely will never be a perfect plan. But guess what? There's a saying that you don't fail backward, you fail forward. And what that means is that you take your what is considered to be failure and you put it into your world of experience and you learn from that whole process. That's all a process of learning. There's not a failure here. There's a process of learning. All right. And if you develop that kind of mindset, which we call the solution-driven mindset, you develop a mindset where you see beyond the problems. I want to show you great things will eventually manifest in your life. So there's a few things that I want us to look at as we bring this podcast down. One, the proactive leader thinks ahead. He sees beyond the problem and he takes action to influence desired results. What is taking action? What is creating leverage? And I want to talk a little bit today about creating leverage. In my new book I'm writing, which is Billionaire Codes 7 Steps to Financial Freedom, not this one, this is Billionaire Codes Self-Application Best Practices Transforming the Mind. In the new book, I'm now talking about what is leveraging. To apply yourself is all about creating leverage. What is leverage? There's a couple of things that I want you to think about here today as I pull the curtain down on this program. There's what we call your brand identification. You want to create leverage. What is your brand? Do you have a premium brand, a complementary brand, or a supplementary brand? Believe me, if you're thinking average and you're not average, your brand is going to be the complementary or supplementary. Why not the premium brand? In Billionaire Codes, we help you to develop what is known as a premium brand. That premium brand is now aligned to people's dreams and hopes and aspiration. And we go deeper into that as you get into our systems. After understanding what is your brand identification, we move you through a system that we call your communication reach. Because if the brand is not placed into a channel of communication, the information about that brand will not be properly popularized. And if the information about your brand is not popularized, the results that you want, you're not going to get. So we look at two things so far: brand identification, communication reach. And through your communication reach, there's what we're going to call your visibility reach. I can go deeper into it, but I'm not going to go deeper into it today. From your visibility reach, there's what we're going to call your rate of conversion. I'm giving you systems, I'm giving you formulas, I'm giving you rituals. There's what we call the rate of conversion. Let me go back at this again. There's what is known as your brand identification. What is your brand? You need to identify your brand if you want to create leverage. If you're going to encourage the public to consume your product or your service, you need to know what your brand represents. Billionaire Code System, we only empower you to build premium brands. And when you build a premium brand, we help you to understand what is communication reach, what is visibility reach, what is rate of conversion. And last but not least, we introduce you to what we call the GBM Success Accelerator System. GBM means Global Branding and Marketing Success Accelerator Systems. These are beautiful systems. I'm not going to go deeper into it today, but these programs are designed to touch and transform your life. And if it is that you want to embrace success into your life, if it is that you want to break that back of what is considered to be failure, I want to encourage you. Stop hesitating. Stop procrastinating. It is time that you take your life back into your hands. It is time that you made that commitment to mold and shape your life and move it into a direction that it deserves. I'm here to give you a content of information that will truly transform your lives, that will truly help you to become the best brand of yourself. You see, it is my life's purpose to commit my time, my talent, and my resources to empower you, each and every one of you. Because I'm fully aware that you are not an average people. You are a phenomenal people who have been socialized with the wrong content of information. Just let me hit a little bit. While I would have graduated at some of the best universities, I want to say this: that piece of paper does not define who you are. But I'm fully aware in the world today that we have so many persons in the world who might have failed their grade 6 examination, who might have failed their CXC examination, GC, who might have failed at the university level, who might have gone through all these things feeling like a failure. I'm here to give you hope. And I'm here to say to you that you are not defined by that piece of paper. This is another reason why people fail, because people, if you don't get that paper, you tend to feel like a failure. Can we say that Bill Gates is a failure? No, certainly not. Can we say that Warren Buffett is a failure? Can we say that Steve Jobs is a failure? Steve Jobs did not even complete his full secondary learning. But what he had was mastery of himself and mastery of his mind. He had a clear mental picture of what he wants to attain. He had a clear plan of how he's going to attain it, and he left no stone unturned to achieve it. I want you to stop allowing lies, doubts, and fear to define who you are. Today's that day that I want you to take back your life, take ownership of your life. Today is that day that I want you to make a commitment that you want to invest in finding the phenomenal you. And this is what our program is all about. It's all about helping the human capital to tap into its genius, is helping the human capital to develop a global vision, a global mindset, helping the human capital to attain self-mastery. Why? Because we know every single successful organization rises or falls based on its human capital. We have the content of information that will truly empower the sense of self of your human capital and take them to the next stage of development to function as transformational leaders, as global thinkers in your organization. We have the content of information that will help the human capital within your organization to demonstrate the strengths as the game changers, as the dream makers, as the trendsetters. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure being with you. Again, my name is Gary Thompson. I'm a business development consultant by profession. I'm a humanitarian by nature, and I'm the author of several books. Billionaire Codes, Transforming the Mind, Self-Application Best Practices is only one of my masterpieces. Do subscribe to this channel. Do share this information with your friends. And I can't wait to get the next podcast to you. Be blessed. And remember, you are not an average people. You are a phenomenal people. And with Billionaire Codes, we'll continue to give you information that will help you to attain self-mastery. That will bring you to that point where you can attain and manage successfully financial freedom. Be blessed until the next broadcast.